Water-induced disasters have been causing damages and destruction in several parts of the country. Landslides in Humla have caused damage to the Tatapani hydropower and Ripgard hydropower, while rescue teams headed to the incident sites have been left stranded amid continuous landslides. Good morning, I'm Chitrakar, and these are the headlines of the hour. Political parties making efforts to garner majority seats for the formation of Koshi province government. Ruling coalition exploring possibilities. CP and UML preparing its own strategies. Landslides in 3 villages of Humla causes massive damage and leaves 615 households without power. 10 households of Bajura completely destroyed by water-induced disasters. Senegal's opposition leader charged with plotting an insurrection, criminal conspiracy and other offences 2 months after his trial for a separate rape charge sparked deadly riots. And 4 matches slated for today in the Women's World Cup. South Korea currently playing Morocco, Switzerland play New Zealand, Norway clash against Philippines and Germany take on Colombia. Discussions between political parties in a bid to garner majority seats for the formation of Koshi province Koshi province government is set to continue today as well. The senior leaders of the ruling coalition are set to hold discussions regarding the formation of Koshi province government today as well. Parliamentary leaders of Koshi province are also scheduled to attend the meeting. The meeting of the ruling coalition at the Prime Minister's official residence in Balwatar yesterday dwelled on the same issue. The ruling alliance has been looking into 3 alternatives to draw the situation in their favour. It has been making preparation to garner the support of Rashtriya Prajatantra Party to ensure majority seats. RPP, which is currently in a decisive position, has yet to reveal its approach. Landslides have caused massive damage in 3 villages of Humla. Landslides triggered by incessant rainfall in Radeu, Unapani, Gusi and Rip have caused damages to farms, electricity, settlement, road and drinking water, among other infrastructures. A rescue team that was headed from the district headquarters, Simikot, to the incident site have been unable to reach there amid continuous landslides. A team of 70 security personnel led by Police Inspector Rajan Bhattrai have been stranded at Sunkhada of Karpunath. In the meantime, damages caused to the powerhouse of the 18 kilowatt Tatapani hydropower and 15 kilowatt Ripgard hydropower due to landslides have left 615 households of Unapani and Rip without electricity. The landslides has swept away the twin pipelines as well as the building. Likewise, 10 households of Himali Rural Municipality and 5 of Gaumul Rural Municipality of Bajura have been displaced due to water-induced disasters. Police have said that floods and landslides have completely damaged 10 houses in the northeastern part of Yuna in Himali Rural Municipality. Police Inspector of Bajura Police Administration Rabindra Singh Kathayat said that the houses of Deeplal Buda, Jangalal Sunar, Shakti Sunar, Ranglal Sunar and Pradeep Lal Sunar have been swept away by landslide. Likewise, 5 families of Gaumul Rural Municipality have also been displaced. Police have said that additional 8 households are under the threat of floods and landslides in the area. The appointment of government employees has been affected since the beginning of implementation of federalism. It has been found that employees working in Madhesh province is less by 35% as per posting. Differences between officials appointed at the centre and the province have been witnessed on several occasions. 2 secretaries at the office of the Chief Minister of Madhesh province have been transferred elsewhere after they complained of unfavourable working environment. The remarks shared by Bhisma Kumar Bhushal and Nurhari Khatiwada, who had been appointed secretaries at the office of the Chief Minister of Madhesh province, have become a topic of discussion. There is a provision that the Joint Secretary of the federal government can be appointed as the secretary at the provinces. The government had decided to appoint Bhushal, who was the Joint Secretary at the Ministry of Home Affairs, as the province secretary on 23rd of February earlier this year. He began serving at the post from 11th of May. However, Bhushal returned to Kathmandu the following day. Bhushal reached Janakpur on 3rd of July and left for the capital 2 days later. Kishore Kumar Chaudhary, who is Bhushal's junior, is the Chief Secretary at the office of the Chief Minister of Madhya Province. Bhushal has complained of not being appointed as the Chief Secretary despite being Chaudhary's senior. Bhushal expressed his grievances through a digital platform, Facebook, while Sitaram Agrahari, the press advisor of the Chief Minister, issued a press release refuting Bhushal's claims. Bhushal has already been transferred to Bagmati province. Likewise, Nurhari Khatiwada, who had been appointed secretary at Madhya province, also expressed grievances through the digital platform. He said that he had to endure pressure and exploitation at the province. He was transferred to be the Commission for Indigenous Nationalities by the Ministry of Federal Affairs after he refused to return to Madhya province. Khatiwada had left Janakpur after Chief Secretary Kishore Kumar Chaudhary demanded a clarification from him. Government officials have complained of unfavorable working environment in Madhya province on several occasions. However, leaders have been blaming officials of inability to accept centralization and federalism. Time now for our segment, Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question: why has the problem of employee management in provinces and local levels not been resolved? The options are A, lack of laws, B, clash between public representatives, and C, centralized mindset. Voting is on. Type any WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked in several provinces regarding ways to reduce human-wildlife conflict. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
भारतीय राष्ट्रिय निकुञ्जहरूले तिनीहरू अब त्यो भित्र नै तिनीहरूलाई बाहिर नआउने व्यवस्था गर्नु पर्यो।
मानवले चाहिँ आफ्नो अमूल्य समयलाई चाहिँ वन वन्यजन्तुको संरक्षण क्षेत्रमा लगायो भने हामीले त्यो मानव र वन्यजन्तुको द्वन्द्वलाई न्यूनीकरण गर्न सक्छौं।
सामुदायिक वनहरुमा भयो राम्रो तारबारको व्यवस्था गरी सरकारवालाले राम्रो ध्यान दिएर तिनीहरुमा राम्रो सुरक्षा प्रदान गरी मानिस र वन्यजन्तु बीच राम्रो सम्बन्ध बनाउन सकिन्छ।
वन क्षेत्रहरुमा चाहिँ सही तरिकाले राष्ट्रिय निकुञ्जहरु बनाएर चाहिँ तिनीहरुको व्यवस्थापन गर्नुपर्छ।
हेरा बेला गरे भने तब राम्रो हुन्थ्यो।
मान्छेले यो पृथ्वी चाहिँ सम्पूर्ण प्राणीको साझा हो भन्ने बुझ्नुपर्छ।
जतिसक्दो यो सरकारले हाम्रो यहाँ चाहिँ बाँदर नआउने कसरी हुन्छ मिलाइदिनु होला।
यो त सरकारले सबभन्दा पहिला नियन्त्रण गर्ने काम गर्नु पर्यो।
केटाकेटी आइमे मान्छे घर भएको ठाउँमा राम्रोसँग खेतीपातीहरू उब्जाएर अनि राम्रोसँग भित्राउन नपाउँदाखेरि यो समस्या।
जंगल फाडेर सबै अब उहाँहरुको बासिसन गर्दिनु भयो, त्यो चाहिँ गर्दिनु भएन।
वन्यजन्तु बाहिर निक्ल्यो भने त्यसलाई सुरक्षित साथ जंगल भित्र राख्ने, हामीले जनावरहरू नमार्ने।
Time now for international update. Senegal's opposition leader Ousmane Sonko was charged yesterday with plotting an insurrection, criminal conspiracy and other offences 2 months after his trial for a separate rape charge sparked deadly riots across the country. Sonko, 49, was handed a 2-year prison sentence on 1st of June for immoral behavior towards individuals younger than 21, leading to protests in which at least 16 people were killed. His followers have been angered by the prospect that his conviction would bar him from standing in next year's presidential election, though lawyers say the issue is ambiguous. Sonko was detained on Friday following a scuffle with security forces stationed outside his home, who he claimed were filming him without permission. He remains in custody, state prosecutors said on Saturday. Sonko denies wrongdoing. His legal team would not be immediately reached for comment. Ukrainian authorities in Zaporizhzhia said yesterday that at least 2 people were killed in a Russian missile strike on the southeastern city. Anatoly Kurtiev, the city's council secretary, wrote on the messaging app Telegram that a man and a woman were killed and that the explosion wave damaged windows in nearby apartment blocks. Kurtiev said the blast wave broke windows in 13 high-rise buildings and an educational institution. The Zaporizhzhia region in Ukraine's east and southeast has seen fierce combat throughout much of the 17 months since Moscow invaded its neighbor, with Kyiv's forces fighting to liberate areas Russian forces now occupy. The bustling market streets of Niger's capital, Niamey, were heavy with uncertainty yesterday as small business owners feared the coup that overthrew their president 3 days earlier could halt financial flows into the West African country. The European Union and France have already cut off financial support to Niger, and the United States has threatened to do the same after military leaders this week announced they had overthrown the democratically elected president Mohamed Bazoum. Niger is one of the poorest countries in the world, receiving close to $2 billion a year in official development assistance, according to the World Bank. Protesters and police clashed in Peru's capital, Lima, yesterday during a protest to demand President Dina Boluarte's resignation and new elections. Female indigenous protesters and police were seen pushing and hitting each other as tear gas canisters were kicked down the street, rolling back and forth between demonstrators and officers. At least one person was injured, local media reported. Demonstrators accused Boluarte's government of killing over 60 people in waves of protests that began when her predecessor, leftist President Pedro Castillo, was removed from office and jailed last December. Tens of thousands of flag-waving Israelis renewed their protest nationwide after sundown yesterday, capping a week of turmoil in which Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu pushed through a highly contested law that limited some Supreme Court powers. From a remote intersection among the lush hills of the northern Galilee to the avenues crisscrossing the financial hub of Tel Aviv, protesters beating drums and blaring horns took to the streets on a hot evening at the end of Sabbath. The judicial overhaul pursued by Netanyahu and his right-wing government, the first part of which passed on Monday, has sparked an unprecedented crisis and opened up a deep social divide. The protests are in their 30th week. The government's plan has shaken the commitment to call-up duty of some army reservists while drawing stern warnings of economic fallout from ratings agencies. Political watchdog groups have appealed to the Supreme Court to strike down the new law, which removes the High Court's authority to avoid what it deems unreasonable decisions by government and ministers. The court said it would hear arguments in September, setting the scene for a constitutional showdown. Philippine authorities are reporting the death toll from the sinking of an overcrowded passenger boat in Laguna de Bay of Rizal province on Thursday has risen to 27. The accident occurred as Typhoon Doksuri passed through the region, bringing strong winds and torrential rain. A total of 43 passengers have been rescued. The Philippines Coast Guard has sent at least 12 divers to the scene, but continuing rain and murky waters are posing significant challenges to search and rescue efforts. Hostelo Arturo Corneli, PCG District NCR Central Luzon Commander, said Local boats normally cover the sides of their boats in plastic sheeting to block rain and waves, and this may have stopped passengers from escaping the boat when it started to capsize. The PCG said the boat, which has a maximum capacity of 42, was obviously overloaded and passengers were not wearing life vests. There are no bodies trapped inside the cabin, and the Coast Guard will search the nearby waters for at least 3 days, the officials said. Time now for sports update.
Sports news.
Asian nation South Korea are taking on Morocco at the FIFA Women's World Cup today. The match, which is underway in Adelaide, Australia, kicked off at 10:15 a.m. Nepal time. Both nations are without a victory at the ongoing World Cup. South Korea had suffered a 2-0 defeat to Colombia, while Germany had humbled Morocco 6-0. The two sides have no alternative to securing a victory to ensure their possibilities of progressing to the next round. Morocco are placed at the bottom of the Group H. In another match of the same group, Germany play Colombia. The match, which will be played in Sydney, is slated for a 3:15 p.m. Nepal time kickoff. 2003 and 2007 champions, Germany have progressed to the knockout rounds of the last 8 World Cups and will be aiming to seal their 9th with a win over Colombia. With both nations having 3 points, Germany lead the Group H standings on goal difference. Meanwhile, 2 Group A matches of the FIFA Women's World Cup are slated for today. As the teams progressing to the knockout round from the group are yet to be decided, the 2 matches are expected to be very competitive. Co-hosts New Zealand, Switzerland, Norway and the Philippines, all teams have the possibility of moving forward to the last 16 of the mega tournament. Norway take on the Philippines, while New Zealand are up against Switzerland. While the Philippines and New Zealand are under tremendous pressure as they must secure victories, a draw will be adequate for Switzerland. Atop the Group A, Switzerland have 4 points from 2 matches. New Zealand and Philippines are second and third with 3 points each, while Norway are at the bottom with a single point. The Philippines had stunned New Zealand with a 1-0 win, while Switzerland were denied an early spot in the knockout round after being held at a draw by Norway. Both matches are scheduled for a 12:45 p.m. kickoff Nepal time. Top 10 seed Taylor Fritz overcame J.J. Wolf to reach the final of the Atlanta Open. World number 9 Fritz defeated his countryman 6-3, 7-5 to advance to his second final of the year, having already lifted the Delray Beach Open title in February. Standing between Fritz and a 6th tour level title will be unseeded Australian Alexander Vucic. Despite a disappointing first set defeat of 3-6, Vucic came back strong in the remaining 2 sets to seal a stunning 7-6, 7-5 victory over 7th seed Hugo Humbert of France. 6th seed Stan Wawrinka defeated 2nd seed Lorenzo Sonego 6-3, 6-4 in the semifinals of the Croatia Open. The straight sets victory sends the Swiss veteran to his first final since 2019, having fallen out of the ATP Top 300 following 2 surgeries on his left foot in 2021. Wawrinka will meet Alexei Popyrin in Sunday's final after the Australian overcame 7th seed Matteo Arnaldi of Italy 6-7, 7-5, 6-3 in his match. For a 3-time Grand Slam winner Wawrinka, it will be a shot at a 7th title, while 6-year pro Popyrin will be playing for his 2nd tour level title. 4th seed Alexander Zverev breezed past Francis Arthur Fils in the semifinals of the Hamburg European Open to reach his first tour final since May 2022. In the 19-time title clinched a 6-2, 6-4 victory in front of a home crowd as Fils, who arrived in the semis full of confidence following his demolition of top seed and world number 4 Casper Ruud 6-0, 6-4, fought back hard in the 2nd set, having been outclassed in the first. Sunday's final against Laszlo Djere of Serbia will be Zverev's first since May 2022, with Jie easily defeating Zhang Zhijian of China 6-3, 6-2 in the earlier semi-final. Jie will not concede a single point on his own serve in the first set and broke Zhang's serve once in the 8th game. 2 more breaks for the serve followed in the second set, with Jie wrapping up victory after just 61 minutes. Before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. Political parties making efforts to garner majority seats for the formation of Koshi province government. Ruling coalition exploring possibilities. CPN-UML preparing its own strategies. Landslides in 3 villages of Humla causes massive damage and leaves 615 households without power. 10 houses of Bajura completely destroyed by water-induced disasters. Senegal's opposition leader charged with plotting an insurrection, criminal conspiracy and other offences 2 months after his trial for a separate rape charge sparked deadly riots across the country. And 4 matches slated for today in the Women's World Cup. South Korea currently playing Morocco, Switzerland play New Zealand, Norway clash against Philippines and Germany take on Colombia. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.